Welcome to the Green Building Show, where we investigate green design and building trends throughout Australia.
In this series of the Green Building Show, we've been looking at bathroom renovations. We've been speaking to 3 experts, a builder, an insurance advisor, and a building products technical and claims professional to get their advice. In this episode, we'll be looking at what lies beneath your bathroom and why it's so important to get that part of the renovation right. When most people renovate their bathrooms, they're so caught up in making decisions about tiles, taps and sinks that they overlook the important foundations of the bathroom. And it's easy to understand. Who wouldn't rather spend their time picking tiles rather than researching drab substrate? The fact is, if you don't pay close attention to what lies beneath your bathroom, it could prove to be a costly liability. We asked Anthony Milostic to explain the foundations of a bathroom.
You want to make sure that from the floor joists, from the timber or the steel framing beneath the floor, that it's sound, it's solid, because if you go ahead and start putting your beautiful fancy tiles over the top, if they're moving around, they're going to crack. So to avoid all that, you want to make sure you get a proper inspection done, either done by an engineer, a builder, someone who's quite well qualified to look at your subframe, and then you build up. So you start off with your floor joists, then you start off with a very strong, stable floor substrate. So that's basically what you're going to be standing on, what the tiles are going to be held by. So you want to make sure that one, it's very durable, it's structurally sound, it's a product that has been around for some time. You want to make sure that the products are compatible with what goes on top, the next layer, and that can be a mortar bed, it could be a waterproofing membrane. So you want to make sure that that membrane is actually compatible with the substrate. So speaking to a lot of the waterproofing companies, we work very hard with a lot of those companies to make sure they test their systems on our substrates, because when it does go bad, you want to make sure that from a warranty perspective, it's been tested, it's been developed, so that it is fit for purpose. Same thing for the wall linings as well. You want to make sure that the paint is compatible with the wall lining. If you are tiling to a substrate, you want to make sure that the tiles have very, very strong cohesive strength to the tiles. So that just makes sure that from the ground up, you've got a good solid foundation for years and years and years to come.
But builder Phil Saker says a homeowner and builder probably won't know the state of your bathroom's foundations until you start renovating. It's really important that you get the foundation of the floor of the bathroom right. For example, if you've started the job and you start demolishing, we don't know what's beneath the actual floor or under the tiles or behind the lining on the walls. Now, when you pull out the bathroom floor, you may or may not have timber or concrete. Now, if it's concrete, it's good. It's pretty solid. You want to get it to a nice flush surface so you can obviously waterproof. If it's timber, I suggest that you rip it out, put compressed fibro, but make sure structurally beneath the bearers and joists and your footings and your piers that are nice and solid. Make sure there's no movement, because if you waterproof and then tile and down the track, you might have some cracks and whatnot. So so it's very important that all the waterproofing and the lining on the floor is done correctly. In a nutshell, if the wet areas aren't correctly guarded, any leaking water has the potential to rot and weaken timber floors, architraves and door jambs, or saturate concrete slabs. All of those defects can then lead to rotting and erosion. If your bathroom is not protected properly from water, it can cost up to $25,000 to repair, so it's paramount that you use tried and tested products that are on the market.
You want to make sure up front, before the commencement of any work, you're very clear in writing of what you exactly are after. So from the finishes to the substrates to the linings, you can actually specify, I want billboard, I want Sky-on interior secure flooring, I want this particular tile, this thickness, and you definitely want to, there's a lot of informative websites out there that you can actually get A lot of consumers these days are upskilling themselves. They're hungry to be well prepared so that when they speak to the builder, they don't look like the little innocent person who doesn't know what they're talking about. So prepare yourself, speak to a lot of the associations, whether it's the Tile Association, the waterproofing guys, companies, even James Hardy as well. So you're up to speed with what is correct, and lock it all in writing, black and white, so both parties are very clear what is expected.
We asked insurance broker Simon Elliott and builder Phil Sakar what the most common types of bathroom defects are that they see.
Plumbers, if they can't weld their joints properly, you'll get probably mini taps under the vanity. You'll get leaks if they're not tightened and have Teflon on them. Baths can be unstable, not using the right material. Obviously you need bush sand, cement, not Sydney sand. You can go wrong with the waterproofing. Most people don't put angles on the corners of the bathroom and on the floor, shower, entry of the bathroom.
The two big ones specifically with bathrooms are waterproofing and plumbing. I mean, that's what bathrooms are all about, and obviously there's a lot of water in bathrooms and that's where you're going to have issues. So yeah, the waterproofing can be a lot more difficult to rectify or a lot more extensive to rectify because of where it is. It's generally the base layer underneath all the surface, the aesthetics, and then on top of that the plumbing as well. Just small leaks that don't appear or manifest themselves for 6 or 12 months, and then all of a sudden you've sort of got water seeping up through your grouting and that sort of stuff. So yeah, plumbing and waterproofing would be the two big ones.
You've got to be careful out there because a lot of people taking shortcuts.
We asked Simon what sort of insurance renovators should be getting to ensure they're covered for defective work and products.
There's a couple of different insurance policies specifically designed to cover people and principals, in this instance, principals who are having work done on their property. The first and major one would be contract works insurance. Now that's something that either you as the principal being the person asking for the work to be done, you can take that policy out. Alternatively, I would expect that your builder would have that. Tied into that should be some public and products liability, and that covers property damage to third-party property, in this case the property of the person having the renovations done, and or personal injury from the site. The third one, which is very important, which is state-based, is builder's warranty. So they're the three main things that the builder should have, or that you should talk to the builder about. The third one, or the fourth one on your end, is your home and contents insurance. Make sure that your home and contents insurance policy is still active or won't exclude your building whilst these works are going on.
So what happens if you discover that the work on your bathroom is defective?
The first thing is to truly, find the root cause of the issue. So people have a hunch, or they have a feeling that it's over here, but sometimes the problem that is actually showing here could actually be over here. So you definitely want to go through a root cause analysis, but to do that you definitely want to get an expert.
The first thing to do if you've got an issue from a defects situation is to go back to the person that you were talking to about the bathroom, whether it's the builder that project managed the whole thing or whether it was just an individual tradie that you got in to do some work. The rectification process is going to depend, in terms of a length of time, is going to depend on the difficulty or the quality of the difficulty of the original build and the work, and obviously the extent of the damage or the extent of the defect and the subsequent damage, the resultant damage following that defect. So the process can be a varying length of time, but the first thing you should do is speak to the person that you have the issue with. Generally it's a water problem in bathrooms typically, so have a conversation with the plumber or, as I say, the builder. They will give you some advice as to whether they think it's something they can fix, how long they think it's going to be able to take to fix, and then hopefully work with you through that process. It can get a bit tricky if the builder doesn't want to be involved, or they sort of put their hands up and say it's got nothing to do with us, it's completely something, something back on your shoulders. So then the defect becomes more of your problem, and that's when insurance can start to get involved, and that's when you can have conversations with the insurers and that sort of thing. So in terms of how it works, the first step is have a conversation with the builder, have a conversation with the tradie, work out what the problem is, work out whether they think they can fix it, and then move forward with that. If the tradie or the builder can't fix it, perhaps get a third party involved, an independent builder or an independent tradie, get them to come and have a look, give you some advice, some written advice, just a one-page report on what the problem is, what they think the problem is, and then you can look to take it a little bit further than that.
In the next episode, we'll be looking at tips on how to manage your builder and tradies, green building and sustainability ideas for bathrooms, and design tricks for en-suites.